You ready? You started?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how the color is going to look after it's done. See how nicely she has pressed it on the edge? Not here. She can press it a little better. But she'll be able to fix that. See, you don't want that little tiny pleat. You want it to be exactly on the edge.
Okay.
Okay? Now, remember that they have different curves and we were forcing it? The reason for that is now it goes around the neck. And it sits very nicely. See? Because that little ruffling that it was given by that, remember that we slash and spread it 1/8 and 1/8? That is to actually give it the shape of the color. Okay? So after this is done, this is very similar to the skirt. Can you see it from there? Okay. To the skirt waistband that we did last semester. Okay. So we are going to get a one layer. So if you want to decide, I mean, you should decide that the color could be the same on both sides, right? But if you have a side that you prefer, you need to figure out how you're going to pin this, because this is the confusing part. After it's sewn, it would look like this, correct? So if we do right sides together, right, it's going to be this layer with this layer. So we had to turn it over, and this is where your notches are going to be super helpful. You have a notch right on the center, so you match notch with notch. I don't see one, so let's make one. Since I don't see scissors, I'm going to do a pin. It works the same way. Okay? So I'm going to match, always match the center. Remember I told you when the sleeves, you match the notch on the shoulder. You always match the center. This should measure perfectly. So what we're going to do is we're going to open it up. See that we have the seam allowances and the color stand on one side and the other one completely free. You want it to be exactly on the seam. Close up?
Yeah, I'm doing a close up.
Okay. And then you do it on the other side. So see how beautiful it matches? Right? Because you all have done amazing patterns, which I'm picking up today to grade.
So what's matching? This with what?
The notches. And
that's
this has to be the beginning. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. You see it? Okay?
Oh, I see.
So you need to pin it there, and you pin it on the other side. Okay? I'm going to pretend that this was sewn so I can finish showing you how this is going to look when you're done. After you have finished sewing this, you're going to press all your seam allowances going up into the collar stand. You're going to go to the corner, okay, which this one is sewn all the way to the edge of the corner. And this other side, you're going to press it at 1/2 inch. And that way, you flip it in and you place it right on top of the seam. You don't want to see the stitching, but you don't want to overlap the stitching. You want to be right on the seam. So after you do that, you top stitch all the way around every side of this collar stand with an edge stitch, okay? And because you have covered that seam, it's going to catch the other side. If you don't cover that seam, the other side will not be caught and it's going to be loose. And you need to stitch here all the way around, especially at round corners, and then all the way in the bottom. If you want to, start in the middle of the collar, That way you don't reverse, you just go over it and overlap it about 1 inch or 2. That is the same as reversing. So your collar and your collar stand are finished. We're good? Okay. You want to see the cuffs?
Yes.
Isn't this?